Good morning, all of you. This is Anuradha, and I would like to tell you the concept of transport in plants. So, as you all know, transport is nothing but the taking of substances from one place to another place. Similarly, in plants also there is transport of certain substances from one place to another place. Like for example, water and minerals which are absorbed from the roots has to be transported to all the parts of the body. Similarly, food which is prepared in the leaves has to be transported to all the parts of the plant. So for this, the plant requires certain mechanisms or certain processes which are helpful in the transport of these different substances. So the different mechanisms or the different processes which are involved in the process of this transport are, first one is two types of transports are present. First is passive transport and the second one is active transport. Passive transport is the transport of the substances without utilizing any energy, ATP energy is called as passive transport. Whereas the second one is the transport of substances with the help of ATP energy is called as active transport. So first let us see this passive transport. So in passive transport, the process which comes under passive transport is diffusion. As you all know from the earlier classes, what is meant by diffusion? Diffusion is nothing but the movement of substances from higher concentration to lower concentration. Take for example, here we take some water, we take some when we take some copper sulfate crystals in a bowl of water, then these crystals will be moving to all the parts of the water, and finally the entire water is going to become blue color. So here the copper sulfate crystals, the concentration is more here, whereas in other places the concentration is less. Finally these molecules are moving from higher concentration to lower concentration until the entire concentration is going to become equal. So this process of movement of molecules from higher concentration to lower concentration until the equilibrium is reached is called as diffusion. So in the process of diffusion, there is the movement of these molecules from higher concentration to lower concentration down the concentration gradient without utilizing any ATP energy. That is called as passive transport. So in the same way, in the diffusion, there is another process where the transport is going to take place from higher concentration to lower concentration with the help of certain proteins which are present in the plasma membrane. So these are called as the proteins which are present in the plasma membrane, and these proteins are helpful in the taking of these particles from higher concentration to lower concentration. These are called as carrier proteins. So this process we can see it in the proteins which are not soluble in water, or which are not soluble in fats or lipids. So they take the help of these proteins, and these proteins are helpful in moving the substances from one side of the membrane to the other side with the help of these carrier proteins which are present in the plasma membrane. This is called as facilitated diffusion. This process is called as facilitated diffusion. And in this also, the process of the movement is from higher concentration to lower concentration without utilizing any ATP energy. This is also a kind of passive transport, but with the help of certain proteins which are present in the plasma membrane. So as it is taking the help, or as the process is being facilitated by the proteins, we call this as facilitated diffusion. So similarly in plastids, you know what are plastids? Chloroplast, chromoplast, leucoplast, all these are called as plastids. So in their membrane also there are certain fuse pores which are nothing but proteins only. These are called as porins. So these porins are also helpful in the movement of these substances, or these proteins or molecules, from higher concentration to lower concentration. That is also comes under passive transport only. So this facilitated diffusion is going to take place in three ways. That means the molecules or the ions which are present in higher concentration in one region, they will pass to the other regions which are having lower concentration, through three methods. Those three methods are called as uniport, antiport, and symport. Uniport, antiport, and symport. So uniport only when one molecule is passing from one side to the other side, then it is called as uniport. Then antiport is when one molecule is moving outside, the other molecule is moving inside, then it is called as the antiport. Then symport, when two molecules are moving in the same direction, either to the inside or to the outside, then it is called as symport. So in this way, in facilitated diffusion, we have three types: uniport, antiport, and symport. So all these three comes under facilitated diffusion, which comes under passive transport. That means which does not require ATP energy, as the movement of the molecules is taking place from higher concentration to lower concentration. And there is another process where the movement is going to take place from lower concentration to higher concentration against the gradient. That will call with the utilization of ATP energy, which is called as active transport. And under this active transport, the main process which comes under is osmosis process. So in osmosis process, the movement is from lower concentration to higher concentration. That means against the concentration gradient by using the ATP energy in presence of an plasma membrane. So the plasma membrane is a must for the process of osmosis to occur. It is a physiological process. That means it is going to take place in the body of the living organisms. Whereas in diffusion, it is a physical process where it does not require any plasma membrane. So it is diffusion is a physical process, and osmosis is a physiological process. Now there are certain experiments to prove the process of osmosis. So in osmosis, this can be proved by means of potato osmometer. It can also be proved by means of potato osmometer. So in this potato osmometer, we are going to take a potato, and then we have to peel out the outer peeling, and then we have to scoop out the central part of this potato, and in this potato central part we are going to place the sugar solution, and this potato is kept in a bowl of water. Then it is left for some time. If we can add little amount of color to the sugar solution which is present in the potato scoop, and this is placed in water. After some time we can see a rise in the level of the sugar solution in the potato scoop, which shows that the water which is present in the beaker has entered into the potato, and thereby the level of the sugar solution has increased. This shows the process of osmosis in plants.